Well, the CCHA played its final on Friday night, and Minnesota State won its fourth out of the last 5 seasons, a 4-1 win over St. Thomas, a tie game in the first, and then a go-ahead goal in the game-winning goal in the second period for Minnesota State, and then 2 more in the third period, not empty netters, but just in the course of play, the fourth goal on the power play. Shots were 39-30 for the Mavericks. Alex Tracy with 29 saves in the contest. That goal in the second period really seemed to put things away. I didn't get to see a whole lot of highlights from the game, but when you get a goal late in the second period like that, Derek, and you get to go into the second intermission up by a goal, you see stats all the time about teams leading in going into the third period and how much of the time they end up winning. What does that bring to you, not just on the scoreboard, but mentally when you can take a lead like that?
One of the things that everybody talks about is you don't want to give up a goal in the first 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes of a period, because those are momentum. Those are momentum for the if you give up one, if you score one right off the bat, you've got the momentum in the period. You score one, you feel good going in the locker room. It makes it desperate. So every team talks about the first 2 and the last 2 of the period. If you can get one in those, you've got a lot of momentum. If you give one up, you're on your heels because you feel bad in the locker room if you give up one. Because you're pushing, now you've got to push. Now because there's some pressure. So the first 2 minutes, last 2 minutes of periods are keys. The one thing I will say, I see all this there on our show notes, 2 power plays, 0 power plays, 1 power play. I hope that sticks through the tournament, because the referees from different leagues tend to overcall things when it gets to the tournament. And you're seeing it right now. I want the game to be played outside of special teams. I want the right team to win. 2 power plays, 3 power plays, fine. We're getting a 7 or 8 in a tournament game. The game's being overcalled. So watch for that heading into the weekend. But you're just seeing it. 0 for 2, 1 for 2, 0 for 1, 1 for 1. The referees have stayed out of the game. Hopefully that continues to the tournament.
Yeah, and as you say that, Derek, I think you also see games, really the power play chances. Teams can't rely on power plays to win in the postseason. Because of the fact that they typically are reduced. As I looked at the results of this game, and congratulations to Luke Strand, another CCHA championship. But I wonder if Don Lucia and the administration of the league kind of took a deep breath, because I remember being around Hockey East when Notre Dame left that league, and they were the only team in 2017 to represent Hockey East at the Frozen Four, and that felt awkward. I'm sure if this was the only team, if St. Thomas was the team representing the CCHA before they head to the NCHC, that would have felt a little awkward. So probably the right result for in a lot of ways for the CCHA.
Speaking of Luke Strand, in his post-game comments, he talked about how much he appreciated the seniors who stuck around and didn't leave when Mike Hastings went to Wisconsin. And this really was Luke Strand's team this year. 17 new players on his roster for the 25-26 season.